All right, before we begin the video, I just wanted to go ahead and say I really want to say this. I really want to say this about Cubics. I know a lot of people are going to ask me, where's Cubics? And for those of you who've already seen the first part or seen at least the little bit that I've shown to some of the people who support the channel a lot and come to the channel a lot, you know what's going on. You already know it's done. You've seen it. It looks very, very good, and all the time and work that I put into it is ready. And the reason why I haven't been uploading and I haven't been doing as much as I used to or as much as I usually do is because I'm editing Cubics. Now, moving on from that, Cubics will be out tomorrow. That's still planned, either tomorrow or the next day, depending on render issues. Obviously, guys, I had to delay it because of what I'm finna talk about now. I want to talk about this Cyberpunk thing because man, I'm so tired of Twitter. I mean, how do I say this any better, right? How do I say this any better about being tired of Twitter, right? How do I continue to stay patient with Twitter, man? I don't even know why I get on it, right? I don't know. So if you guys haven't seen, Cyberpunk it's been rumored a lot. It's been talked about a lot, and I've been seeing it in the gaming community a lot about Cyberpunk delaying their game, or not delaying their game, my bad, crunching to avoid a delay. Now, I've said this many times in previous videos, and if I haven't covered it in depth, we're going to do that here, about crunch and about delays and about all this stuff. I don't care about delays, okay? It's just a video game. That's one. All right, there's bigger, more important life issues. But even for those of us who play video games, like video games, and this is livelihood and what we care about, our hobby, our passion, whatever, delays are good. They help the game get better, and they also help make improvements to a game and better help criticize when there is criticism for the game. It helps improvement. Everybody understands that. I don't know why people have to feel that you have to break that down to people. We get it, okay? Everybody understands that. However, there's another problem with delays that annoy the shit out of me. When I say something's going to come out, right? For me, let's say Cubics. We're going to use Cubics for example. When I say Cubics was going to come out on June 21st, I plan to make those dates happen. You know, it's a big problem with like Kanye West for me. When you say something's going to happen, you need to stick to your word. And that's just being honest. That's being truthful. That's sticking to your supporters. These people who care about your product, these people who care about you as a person, or care about you as a company, or you as a designer, or whatever you are as an artist. We want to see that done then. Some people take time off of work. Some people take time to do these things and plan around your game, or buy new cards, or buy the next gen software or next gen hardware for your game. So when you take into account all of that, we absolutely need to understand the delays aren't always a good thing. There's always bad and good to everything except Jesus Christ, Yeshua saves. Everything like that needs to be in full consideration, okay? Now, moving on from the delays, right? Obviously, Cyberpunk got delayed two or three times now. It's understandable. It happens. Okay. We understand that we've had a global pandemic. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the channel, let me go ahead and outright say this. I do not care whatsoever about this pandemic. And when I say I don't care, it's not that I don't care about the people's lives who are hurt by it, have been affected by it. I don't care about what the media has to say about it. And when I say media, I'm not talking about independent researchers who actually look for the truth. I'm talking about mainstream outlets and people on Twitter who claim to just sit there and look at a few documents that they agree with and then post their opinions. No, I'm talking about the hardcore facts, the truth, and the reality of the matter. This pandemic, or whatever you want to call this thing, was never a true pandemic. It never happened. There have been faked COVID numbers. There have been faked all types of stuff. I won't use this video to get into that, but if you're ignorant of that at this point, I really don't know what to say about that. So stop using this thing of this pandemic is the reason they're delaying games. I understand that there was a lockdown and all this stuff, but they're game developers, okay, guys? They have the resources to do things at home that some other people wouldn't. Like if you work at a factory, you're obviously not going to be able to take that machinery home. If you're a game developer, I don't know the exact things that you have to do, but you can take a lot of the stuff home and work on it. Now, I'm not saying that that's a reason that they can get it out. I'm not saying that it's a reason they can't get it out. I don't know, but I'm saying that it's possible. Obviously, we're seeing games get made with people in LA and California. Now, obviously, CD Projekt Red isn't in California or in these places that are having great lockdowns. And if they are in those places, they need to accommodate for that resource deprivation, I guess would be the best word. So again, I want to move on by saying that because I'm tired of fucking seeing it. And it's always on Twitter. And again, this is my last time, or really my first, but my last time I'm going to go through Twitter and talk about something on Twitter. But this is just frustrating because you guys know how happy I am for Cyberpunk. I've been waiting on Cyberpunk for literally 8 years. I'm not even kidding when I say this. The only game I've ever waited on longer to come out has been Red Dead Redemption 2 and Modern Warfare 2 Remastered's multiplayer. All right, obviously, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered's multiplayer has never been confirmed. It's never been talked about, so that's a whole nother topic. But Red Dead went under the same scrutiny where they had to delay the game, and then they were getting backlash for crunch. Now, again, I'm not saying that they should work their employees to death or anything, and I'm not condoning that whatsoever. But they get paid to this, and this is their job. If they don't like it, and I understand, man, look, sometimes you have to get the job. This is the job you like, the job you want. This is what you got to do. This is how it works. But if you don't like the job, guys, just stop doing it. If it's that big of a deal for these people, right? They feel like, yo, I'm working too many hours. This isn't working for me. I can't do this no more. I'm not saying that it's okay to work these hours. Again, I'm not, because I know somebody in the comment section is going to say it without watching the video. But what I'm saying here is, just leave. There's plenty of people who want those positions. And even if it's underpaid overtime or whatever the other excuses is that I'm seeing on Twitter, they have to come to grips with, maybe this isn't the best place for me to be, and maybe I can find a better job elsewhere. And if I can't, maybe this hobby and what I'm doing isn't the best. It happens to a lot of people, and this is how the world works, man. It's a sad reality, and I understand that it needs to improve, and we need to push for that change. But at the same time, guys, this is how the world works. If you work at a factory, if you work on a farm, or you work somewhere and if something's not getting done, you gotta work longer hours to get stuff done. I've been up for 3-4 days in a row now editing Cubics because it's not done, or it's not the way I want it to go. Even though I've had all these months to work on it, I've been working on it, I've been doing different things. I need to fix some things. It happens. But it also comes to a point of this, right? People want these delays. They're like, delay it. Here's the issue. When you continue to delay something, you lose the trust of the supporting base. You guys do understand that, right? They delayed the game again. I literally won't even think about the game. Until the game comes out, there's no pre-orders. I'm not going to pre-order the game. I'm not going to do nothing. And for those people who pre-ordered the game and they can't withdraw their pre-order, right? Let's say they can't. I don't know if they can or can't. I could care less. But let's say they don't. They can't, right? Some outlet says they can. Amazon, I don't know. Again, I have no clue. But let's say they did this, right? And they can't do that, and they can't pull it back. You just wasted run time. Some people, like I said, people take off work, take off school, whatever, plan their whole holiday around it. So what is the fucking issue with just getting the game out and patching it? Now, look, again, guys, I've said it many times. I don't like when games release the game, or when developers, release their game and then they have to patch and update it. I want to go back to the times where they just released a full finished product. But I'm really saying that for game developers who've been doing it for 1, 2, 3 years, right? Because they're always doing something where it feels like they're rushing. But what kills me about Cyberpunk, and what's not really clicking through fucking people's heads, is the fact that you guys aren't getting, they've been working on the game for 8 years. The trailer that came out with the girl with the arm, she had an arm and all of that, you guys have seen the first trailer they released for, or the little teaser they released for, that was like 7-8 years ago. Excuse me for hitting my mic, but what exactly have they been doing? What have they been doing? And you guys are going to sit here and say this pandemic. Here we go with this pandemic shit again. Guys, they had 6 years before that. Now, I'm not young. Okay, I'm not that young to remember when game developers, Rockstar included, were putting out GTAs and Bullies and all of this stuff like back to back to back to back. Technology has improved. Why are we not putting out games more frequently and better quality? That doesn't make sense. Things should get better over time, not worse. They should take less time to develop, not more. That's how technology works, okay? And again, I understand being patient, I understand taking time with your work and doing all of that. I get it. And I love those people like that. But there's a balance, a very strong balance that you Twitter dweebs aren't getting through your head. And again, for you rational people who understand how games work, most of the people who come to my channel understand this. I'm really just talking out of a little bit of frustration because I really don't want to see this game delayed. I really don't, man. At this point, if they're going to delay the game, they need to give us some sort of beta or some sort of access to play a little bit of it, to play like a couple hours of it. Because these journalists are the only people who have played this game. And the average consumer who's been waiting, or like me, a significant person who's been watching the game, I wouldn't say significant. Let me bring that down. Not significant, but somebody like me who's very enthusiastic about the game, a very big supporter about the game, won't be able to touch it because a few journalists got upset because they heard the word crunch? Look, G, let me put this into layman terms for you people who have never had to work a day in your life. And for those people who clearly don't understand how the world works, you think the world has to be the way you think it has to be. That's not how this goes. They got behind. For some way one reason or another, they got behind. I don't know why they got behind. I don't know why they couldn't schedule better, why they couldn't work better, why they couldn't do something. They got behind. And in order to put the product out on time, in order to do these things on time, certain things have to happen. Now, there is some hypocrisy with Cyberpunk and CD Projekt Red. They said they would not crunch, and I don't know if the crunch report is true. I have no clue. I don't look at Kotaku. I don't look at these mainstream news outlets. Again, after The Last of Us 2 tobacco, I haven't looked at another review. I haven't looked at IGN, GameSpot, none of that shit. I don't watch that shit no more. It's clear that these guys are pushing an agenda, and I want nothing to do with that agenda, and I will not fit into that agenda whatsoever. If you want to persecute me for that, go ahead, man. You guys know I ain't soft, and I do not care what you say in the comment section. I will debate you. I will talk to you, and I will have a educated conversation with you. What I'm saying here, guys, and this is kind of going to be the end of it, because I told you guys I really didn't want to talk about Cyberpunk until the game came out. My problem with it is I feel like they're going to see this criticism on Twitter, which so many companies do, and they feel pressured because there's these people in the world who all they do is they spend their whole lives on Twitter, right? They think Twitter is life. They think social media is life. They think this is what it is. But they do not understand that the majority of the fan base, the majority of the supporters do not use social media. It's not a thing. It's not. I don't understand why people think social media is such a big thing when the majority of the world does not have social media. It does not work like that. We in America and we in these great countries who have been so privileged, so blessed to have this sort of technology and stuff and have this fast internet and these great internets, these great cell phones and these great stuff, have been blessed with the opportunity to be able to have these things. But the majority of the world does not have that. The majority of the world lives in poverty. And not only do they live in poverty, the majority of the world barely gets a console. And majority of the world just wants to play a good game. And again, I'm not trying to condone crunch. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm not condoning it. But what I am understanding is that as a project maker, I don't want to say developer, but as a project maker, somebody who puts a lot of time into his projects, creates content, does other things, has a life, works a job, goes to school, does other things, has people that I have obligations to, other obligations to, family members, friends, etc. Guys, sometimes this happens. And this is what's killing me, is because I really don't want CD Projekt Red to get into that mode. You've seen it with Halo when they removed the police sirens and the police stuff out of Halo. Why? Because a couple of people are like, all cops are bad? Like, stuff like that. And when they listen to the wrong group, pushes a certain narrative that they should not be about. And again, man, they should have never came out and said anything about crunch. They should have never committed to crunch or not crunch. They should have just left it alone and say, look, whenever we get the game out, we're going to talk to our developers. We're going to talk to our employees. We're going to talk about the people who care about the game. And we're going to see how it goes from there, how we can agree on it, how we can get together, and how we can do things. Now, there's another last topic I want to talk about, and that's unions within gaming. And I know people are going to get together and start talking about unions. And they're going to get together and say that gaming doesn't have unions and gaming doesn't have any of this. Well, the main reason that gaming doesn't have unions, guys, is the fact that most gamers, most developers are independent. Now, not all of them are, all right? There's big corporations, big gaming tech, big head honchos that they don't have unions, and they should. Maybe they should. You know, it's a case-by-case basis. I think an organization-by-organization basis that we should discuss that on. But most game developers, the ones that you don't see, the big games that you don't see get marketed, are individual or small dev teams that work on their own. So you mean to tell me that these gaming people don't have unions, and that's the reason why they get crunched? No, it's because they don't speak up and they don't use their voice to voice their concerns at any point. That's what they have to do. And look, man, I don't know what happens to CD Projekt Red. I don't know anything about CD Projekt Red. But all I know is that the stuff that I've seen, all the reports that I've seen about CD Projekt Red, the truth, not this bullshit Kotaku and all this stuff going on where they just report stuff and feel like they have to be heard. I mean, the truth is that CD Projekt Red's a really good development team. They're really good gaming developers. They're really good at publishing. They do a lot of great things. So if this is true, why wouldn't CD Projekt Red's head management have sat down and be like, listen, guys, this is what's happening. We're a little behind. We got to get this game out. We want this game to be out. But we have to work a little bit more. And if you guys don't want to work a little bit more, come into my office. Let's talk about this. Let's go over this. Let's see how we can handle this better. How about we work this schedule? How about we work this kind of schedule? How about we get more breaks? If we work 6 days a week, how about you guys get 2-3 hour lunches? How about you get this? Nobody talks about that. All they hear is crunch and they fucking freak out. It's just like when atheists hear the word religion. They just freak out, you know, and they just, like, dude, how about you go by case and understand things instead of freaking out on Twitter? But this is the life we live. This is the world we live in. And again, I'm not expecting people to be rational on Twitter. I'm not expecting none of that anymore, man. I learned that from the WAP era. I learned that from other stuff. You just can't expect it. And I wanted to voice my opinion because it's frustrating. I wouldn't say it got my blood boiling or anything, but it's something that we had to talk about. And I felt like putting out a video. I was going to wait till tomorrow, obviously, just put out Cubics, but I couldn't miss an opportunity to talk about CD Projekt Red and the stuff that they're going on and that they're having and the stuff that's just absolutely absurd. Why people just feel the need to just even I fall victim to it sometimes, man. I get mad at a game and I get to tweet and say how much I can't stand the game or something. I understand. And I'm not going to get on them. I'm getting on their actions. You guys know this. And if you don't know that and you're new to the channel, this is what we do. Again, man, look, CD Projekt Red, if you watch this video, I highly doubt you will. But if you are, please, for the love of God, just don't listen to dummies. Please, man, just stay off of Twitter. All right, get the game out. I know a lot of people are saying the game's not gold yet. Games go gold within 30 days. When it's 30 days, that's when the game goes gold. Again, people are not looking at the research. They just talk. And another thing is people talking about the microtransactions. That's for multiplayer. That is not for single player. Nobody's upset about microtransactions in a multiplayer game. They're fine. As long as they're not loot boxes, they're not supply drops, and they're not schemy-ass marketing systems, which isn't what's being called for. So again, you guys on Twitter, you people on Twitter, I'm really talking to you. And again, I'm really talking about what you have to say. Please shut the hell up. All right, think about what you got to say. I know you won't. I know this video, if you're already like that, this video probably won't convince you to do that. But for the one person who may change, this is the video for you. Please get your head out your asses. Please, man. And I swear, if they delay this game because they've seen people backlashing because they heard one word, I'm going to get upset. Please, CD Projekt Red, think about your decision. Come out, give an educated decision. If you're going to delay the game, fine. Do it. You got to do it. I mean, it is what it is. It's fucking 2020. What else could be delayed at this point? It happens. All right. Much love, guys. Again, I'll tell you guys tomorrow or see you guys tomorrow for Cubics. We're going to have a live stream. Talk about Cubics, talk about what my editing thought process was, what went through it, how everything went down. You guys obviously know Cubics got delayed because Cyberpunk gets delayed. It's coming out regardless of if Cyberpunk gets delayed or not this time. I guess we're just going to have to either make a new idea for Cubics 2, the second part of the series, or we're going to have to do something else, you know, just probably wait for Cyberpunk or something. I don't know, man. At this point, what the fuck else? What the fuck else is going to happen in 2020, right? What else are we going to deal with? We didn't see people freak out over a fake demic. We didn't see people trip about people not wearing masks. We didn't see people cry all over the internet. We didn't see WAP and stuff. I mean, what else is going to happen this year, man? Oh, man, people think the world's going to last another 50 years, man. I don't know. I don't see it. I'm just playing, man. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. God bless. Bless up. And as always, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning into the video. Please stop overreacting. It's I don't even know anymore. I just don't know.